Hello, and welcome to Chyte Chats, a channel where I, Chyte, ramble on about whatever is on my mind. And today's episode, Five Nights at Freddys, an indie horror game that you guys suggested in mass, and Yummy Mash played it and said it was really, really good. And that's a very terrifying animatronic pair. Five Nights at Freddys. So, I've grown up with FNAF for, well, I was in middle school when that first game came out. And at first, honestly, FNAF is probably my introduction into horror. I knew of horror, but as I've grown up in kind of a protective Christian household, I never was given that access to look at horror or stuff like that, or yeah, just kind of protected and stuff like that. And FNAF is mainly when I started getting access to YouTube and technology like that. So that's when I first stumbled upon everyone playing it at the time. Like all these big YouTubers were like, wow, this game is so scary. And middle school me, who along the lines stumbled into Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, I was very, very yeah, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to get nightmares. Like the thumbnails, they look so scary. I can't look at that. Eventually, I watched the video on it, and I honestly was like, okay, I see the loop of it. I see what's going on here, and I was like, damn, okay, that's pretty good. Honestly, I think the first YouTuber I watched that played FNAF was Sky as Minecraft. And, well, you know what happened with him. I'm not going to get into that. But then, after I watched him play it, I was like, maybe I'll watch some of these other YouTubers. And that's where I found Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Corey Kenshin, channels like that. People I still watch to this day and aren't PDF files. Okay, sorry, Sky. Let me rephrase. Sky is not a PDF file. He is just a very bad person. I digress. That's probably a whole nother episode of channels I used to grow up with. But I remember talking to my middle school friends at the time, like, dang, this game's actually kind of scary. And I don't remember when it got added to mobile, but I remember someone was playing on the bus one day, and we were just dude, Chica's moved, guys, and it's just it was a very interesting time, that's for sure. That's also when Undertale came out. But again, I digress. That's a separate chat time. So FNAF 1, I guess breaking out a story. I'm breaking down the games here. FNAF 1 is it's really good. I think Scott did a good job at making the loop, the cycle of it, pretty good. And it's scary. The power, it suddenly ramps up and suddenly everyone's at your door. You got Foxy running at your door. It's really good, and I think it still holds up. I've played FNAF 1. There is a video on on my main channel where I played it, and I'm bad at it. I'm not good at FNAF. I'm not Markiplier, king of Five Nights at Freddys. But at the same time, I can respect people who beat the 2020 mode, 20 what? Well, the first one would be 420. All of them on the hardest difficulty, the custom nights. I would be dying. I would get so sick and tired of that. But it works. It's good. You get your power, you get your doors, you get the basic 4 animatronics that you've know and love to this day. Actually, when did I know I said in my intro I'm not doing research. When did FNAF 1 come out? 2014. Damn. Yeah, that was, jeez, 12 years ago. So yeah, I'd be 11. Damn. But again, after watching some people play the games, like, okay, I mean, it's a pretty good scary game. And then I think that's when I found Matt Pat, and he started talking about the lore, like the hidden secrets, and like, oh, there's a lot more to this game. And hearing like Phone Guy die in night 5, I know spoilers if you no one's played. If you're here, I guess you know about FNAF, but if, spoilers, I guess. Hearing the Phone Guy die in what night 4, and then night 5 as Golden Freddy is like, dude, he's dead. We gotta check the back of these suits. There's stuff for people in these suits. And I don't know why younger me found that so fascinating. Or like, dang, that's like scary. Like a guy died in a game. I didn't know there was horror games out there like this. And then like it kind of died down. Like after watching that many YouTubers, like, oh, okay, it's FNAF. It's not scary anymore to me. I like it. I'm hooked. I'm into it. And then FNAF 2 rolled out. And I feel like that entire, like, love for the game kicked in at FNAF 2. Because that's when we started getting more characters, lore that was actually shown in the game. Like, younger me trying to decipher what the mini games are all about. It's do not ask a middle schooler what he thought, who he thought the Bite of 87 victim was, or like what he or who did the Bite of 87. But it was a lot more scarier and just hectic as well, because with what, 11, 12 animatronics, I want to say, trying to all get you, and there's no doors, and like seeing the trailer, like the teasers come out at the time, and that's something I wish Scott would still do, is the teasers. The teasers would be so good. Like, I still vividly remember the something borrowed, something new of comparing Toy Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. And then, like, the Mangle and Foxy. It's just, like, those were so good. And I know, like, present day, Scott doesn't do as much. Well, I guess we don't know how much Scott does behind the scenes, but we know he still helps out with writing the games. He just doesn't make the games. At least I think that's what it is, with Steel Wool owning the rights. I guess I'll get more to that when we get present day. But what was I even talking about before I... Man, I don't remember. Anyway, FNAF 2. Just, yeah, with everyone... Oh, the teasers. That's what I was talking about. I remember seeing the teasers and, like, dang, like a new game. Like, this would be sick. And, like, oh, they're all new. Like, they're 2.0. And then just to find out that it's a prequel. That we get to hear Phone Guy. Like, wait, didn't he die? And then everyone's like, oh, wait, this is the summer location. Or, like, this is during the summers, which means, like, this was before. And, like, what? So the Withers were actually like that's when the timeline started. That's trying to be put together. And that's like FNAF 2 to 4 era, I feel like was the best. With the theories, the lore was still pretty connected. You could still like understand what's going on. And honestly, FNAF 2, probably one of my favorite out of the main, like just out of the main games. Minus the cameras, you don't really use a whole lot. With the whole puppet, the marionette, the only camera you're ever really using is just that one to quickly wind the music box, which I feel like kind of is a design flaw in the game. Because, like, the whole point of FNAF 1 was checking the cameras. And I think the meta, whatever, is, like, camera stalling. But, like, you still would flip through the cameras, see where they are, to, like... And, like, Foxy check if he's about to run. Stuff like that. I mean, like, FNAF 2... It's still scary. It's hectic. You got everyone coming at you. But you're not really using the cameras. Unless you want to find, like, the scary animatronic faces for your thumbnails. Because in a gameplay loop, you're being attacked, and you have to wind that music box up. So you're just going to stay on the music box instead of switching back and forth. Which is a very small nitpick. I don't think it ruins the game or anything. I think it does, like... Well, I was gonna say maybe the music box mechanic goes into later games, but then I'm gonna think about it. It doesn't really. But it's just like, yeah, the whole cameras. It kind of stops it, or kind of ruins the cameras, I should say. But it does introduce Marionette, which I think is one of my favorite characters in the FNAF universe. We'll get to my actual favorite one later with the next game, but I think the Marionette being like the one that gives the animatronics life with the souls and like helps them out is nice. It's cool. And then like, well, I was gonna compare it to the movies, but the movies is that's a completely different scenario. Hell, I might get to that later. I don't know how long this episode is gonna be, but it's just, especially in the mini games, when you get to see the save them and give gifts, give life, and like stuff like that. It shows that the Marionette has more here than you think. And then especially with Night 5, was it Night 5 or something? The Golden Freddy night. And it's just like, hey, this Easter egg from the first game he's here. He's just a floating head in your hallway. And I don't know. I remember younger me flipping out about that. Like, dude, it's Golden Freddy. He wasn't, like, it wasn't some sort of error in the code. He's here. And he's like, I don't know what theory me was cooking at the time. Like, it's actually just it's a bug that the Freddy is a different color. But the Golden Freddy night is cool because he has like the face in the hallway and the body form. I don't remember if you also have the Wind the Music box up on that night. I'm guessing you do, because otherwise there's like no cameras for him. But it was cool. And seeing more of the phone guy, like, what on earth are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. It's stuff like that. It was really cool. I think FNAF 2 was really good. I'd put it above FNAF 1 in tier list terms. In gameplay, like, it's chaotic and you're definitely going to die a lot, I want to say. And then everyone thought, oh yeah, this is that's it. Like, we're not good anymore. And then FNAF 3 started getting teasers, and it's like, hold up. Oh wait, no, we did get teased. Wait, I should roll it back. FNAF 2, we hear about the bite of 87. And the more lore of like, did Foxy do this? Was it Mangle? Because Mangle attacks you from the ceiling. That was the main big lore drop. Because we see snippets of the newspaper in FNAF 1 of like kids dead, frontal lobe. And then we see more in FNAF 2 of like, there was an incident that happened and the bite of 87, and the animatronics aren't acting that quite right. Just like the more of the lore building. Did we get Purple Guy in FNAF 2? I don't. I think he was around in some of the mini games. You might notice some of the suits. Someone used one of the old suits in the back, and like the safe room, and like, oh, it's just Purple Guy is a whole another thing. Which, like, even today with modern FNAF, we don't know a whole lot about William Afton and Henry. Like, the movies show a little bit, I guess, but we're still putting pieces together of, like, Afton's beginnings. Like, I don't think we ever found out, like, why he kills kids. Like, I know Henry's daughter was, like, the first one. I think that's what everyone, like, is trying to say. With FNAF, what, 6? We get to see that. But honestly, I'm still a little confused on timeline. Like, like, jeez. Younger me definitely had no idea of what a massive game series this tiny little indie game was gonna become. And then yeah, Scott started teasing FNAF 3, and I remember that's when the teaser started becoming a lot like, all right, we're gonna go into the website code, we're gonna brighten up images, and we got the code word Springtrap because we saw this Bonnie looking suit, and like, well, Golden Bonnie, and then we got the name Springtrap, and no one knew what that would meant. And at the time, I still remember talking to my friends like, dude, like, this new villain is Springtrap, like this new animatronic Springtrap, like no one cared. I'm like, dude, all right, come play Clash Royale. But FNAF 3, I still have fond memories of FNAF 3 just because of how cool Springtrap's OG design is. And that's why Springtrap is my favorite, honestly. Getting to see a William Afton's body, like, mangled in with the robot, like the animatronics. It was a really cool design. And I think actually Dead by Daylight's design of Springtrap is so much better than what we got in FNAF 3. Just because you see more of the bones, the organs, and all that stuff, like, leaking through the suit. And it's just really cool. And the fact that he's been dead for 3 years in this suit. Which, I don't even know if we're, at this point, going with that 30 years. Especially with the movies. Like, imagine, like, I know in the game, we see Afton get scared of the souls of the animatronics, or the souls of the kids who were in the animatronics, and put on the Spring Bonnie suit and get spring locked. And me seeing those, that cutscene is just like, oh my gosh, this is what happened to William. This is William Afton, and getting to see, like, oh, it's just so good. I don't even know what I was trying to talk about. Again, that's probably gonna be a major thing of this thing is me just yapping, and I don't have structure. But getting to just 30 years, like, if you think about it, you're just stuck there in this animatronic suit. You should be dead, but you're not. And I hate the reasoning for it that we get, hopefully, or kind of introduced to later. But just this, like, waking up and, like, you're just, oh, it's interesting to think about. And the fact that FNAF 3, the horror attraction, is that there's been enough like stories in universe to be like, oh yeah, there's kids, there's unsolved mysteries. Let's make a horror attraction on it. And honestly, like, it sounds like something someone would definitely do this in this day and age. Like, never mind. I was gonna say something really bad. Maybe you just think like a tragedy. You're like, yeah, let's make an attraction around that and make money. It sounds like something someone would do. But going back to FNAF, the gameplay loop of FNAF 3, probably one of the weakest, I want to say. But I like Springtrap a whole lot. He's my favorite character, honestly. Well, Springtrap, William Afton, I guess, kind of the same, but I digress. FNAF 3 with its whole flipping between cameras and vent cameras, making your oxygen and your vents, like all that stuff is being run properly, is cool. And also, I find it funny that the map is based off of Scott's logo, but flipped upside down. I just find that funny. But the fact that Springtrap is the only one that can kill you is a little disappointing, at least to me, because it's just like if the phantoms attack you, you don't feel like what is it? Like this, I guess there's some stress of like, oh, now you need to suddenly restart your audio and the cameras and whatnot. But it's like, it's not as chaotic as 2. And I feel like that's kind of more of what it would be. Or like, I feel like, I don't know. It's just 3 is kind of meh to me. Because night 1, there's nothing. You're just listening to Phone Dude. I think that's what people term him as Phone Dude. Like, dude, we found one, a real one. Like, there's nothing on night 1. And then Springtrap happens on night 2. And it's just him and the phantoms. And the phantoms, like, yeah, mess up your audio and whatnot. And, like, I understand, like, maybe the lore of, like, oh, you're scared of these phantoms that were your past animatronics. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I'm also interested in what they're going to do with FNAF 3 movie and try to introduce or like talk about the phantoms. Because I feel like that's kind of like the forgotten part in the lore these days is what are the phantoms? But I don't know, honestly. And like I said, I'm not doing research into this. I'm just kind of yapping. So FNAF 3 is good. But I want to say it's probably the worst out of the first, like going in order here, bottom of my list. But getting to see the end, oh, this is actually where Scott introduces the good ending and the bad ending. And this choice has continued for most of the FNAF games going forward is the different endings. And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the 2 different endings. Because, like, hell, like, FNAF Security Breach has, like, what? 7 to 8 different endings, I want to say. And, like, it just muddies up a timeline or, like, any lore people want to do is, like, which one is the real ending? For FNAF 3, I understand. There's a good ending and a bad ending to like show like, hey, there's more secrets for you to uncover here. There's more lore. Like clicking on a arcade game on a certain night to play Chica's Party or like the Balloon Boy. Like there's mini games here that you gotta find, and it's cool for like secrets, finding stuff like that. But at the same time, entering a secret combination into a panel on the wall, just like I don't think like imagine you're in that universe. Why are you entering a code into a wall like that? I don't know. I think it's funny, but also at the same time kind of stupid. But it also gave us closure, kind of, to the main animatronics, because they get their life. They have the happiest day, and we see the lights off on the masks, like the souls are finally freed. The puppet got revenge on Afton, and yeah, it felt like a good ending. Like that's it. But no. Well, actually, I think everyone did think that was gonna be the end because the teasers showed just a Freddy hat on Scott's website of like, hey, this is it. It's Freddy. He's gone now. And then one day, getting to like look back on the website and to see like a hand, or well, I don't remember what the teaser exactly was, but someone pick up the hat, and it's Nightmare Freddy, or Fredbear, Nightmare Fredbear, I guess. I don't remember what the teaser exactly was, but how we got teasers for the final chapter, and that is when all my friends started catching on. And like, dude, these actually look really scary. And like, I remember in gym class, like, dude, Nightmare Foxy just got revealed, and like, why does he have such a long tongue? What is he doing with that? It's just like, I love the Nightmare designs. They're not the scariest thing in the world, especially for seeing other designs with the VHSs and stuff like that, or like fan made stuff. But the fact that people thought like, oh, this is gonna be scary. This is like the scariest animatronics. Or like, how is this building the lore? Like, did Afton build twisted version? I guess that's like book knowledge there with the twisted ones. But anyway, FNAF 4. I don't know. I don't remember much of FNAF 4, to be honest, other than the bedroom and the... Was FNAF 4 when we got the kid... Yes. When we see I Will Put You Back Together. The loop, like the gameplay loop of FNAF 4. Oh my gosh, that is scary. Getting to see the trailer of like, wait, we're not in like a building, we're in a kid's room, and we have to close like actual doors, check the closet, like feeling like you are like a kid, you're not like an adult here. And the fact that it's sound based is really cool. Like, you had to listen for breathing on these doors. I think Scott did a really good job. Now, night one is never normally that bad, and jump scare. The Nightmare animatronics, like, it's scary. You actually have to listen and make sure you're checking behind you for the Nightmare Freddles. I don't remember what the name for those guys were. And checking the closet for Foxy. It's just, it was scary and it was cool. I like it. Personally, I've never played it. I'm a little too scared of that. But we got more, like, the final chapter So we knew something big or like lore wise might get dropped here, and we kind of did. With, is that the bite of 87? But no, it's the bite of 83, and the whole. I feel like this is also where the start of Scott's lore of just like, yeah, I'm winging the story as we go. Like, I don't think Scott knew what he was doing here, but I don't know. The whole box, some things are better left forgotten because he didn't. I don't think Scott even knew what was in the box. Like, I don't remember if the box was in game or like a teaser of like, I don't know. I feel like there's still something Scott was cooking there, and then it's like, yeah, this ain't working. But just like the mini games, getting to see the crying child. I think not Gregory, the crying child, going and like getting scared, and being bit by Fredbear. Because we thought this was the original location of Freddy's. But I don't think we've ever seen Fredbear's Family Diner. I think that location was just FNAF. Or, just a Freddy's location. But I don't know. I don't remember the lore, to be honest. But it might be a Fredbear's location because of Fredbear being there and the spring suits that we see someone get in. But I don't know. And I remember watching people play this game now, and I actually would get scared at these jump scares just because it was like, normally you'd know something's coming, like, oh, Bonnie's outside your door, and he missed, or they missed, and then they get jump scared. But here it's like you have to listen, be very careful with the flashlight, because if the tiniest of light, you're dead. And also Plush Trap. I don't. What is Plush Trap in between nights? I don't remember exactly when Plush Trap is. Or even, I don't even know how Plush Trap fits into the lore. To be honest, I don't know if it is lore accurate or like gives anything about Plush Trap, but I don't know. FNAF 4, I'd put above 3. I think it would go 2, 1, 4, 3 for me. Yeah. 2, 1, 4, 3. Yeah. I don't remember if there's a good and bad ending on FNAF 4. I think there's just a straight up ending. With a, I'll put you back together. I'm trying to remember. But, yeah. And then that's what everyone thought it was done. Like, Scott's done. We got the thank you for playing teaser. But nope. Just like William Afton, he always comes back. Scott always comes back with another one. And honestly, I don't think FNAF World was that bad. I'm going to say it. With the teasers of FNAF World, like, the characters being turned into chibi, like, cuter versions, like, oh, there's something going on? Like, what's going on here, Scott? And FNAF World gets revealed as, like, a RPG adventure. I don't think FNAF World was that bad. I know Scott wants to forget about FNAF World. Well, honestly, I played it. I enjoyed FNAF World. with kind of all these mechanics. I don't remember if there's like that deep of lore that came from FNAF World, other than I think we got teasers of Baby for Sister Location and Henry, I think, killing himself. I don't know if that's like lore or just like part of the game. I remember there's something about someone shooting themselves on a table. I don't know. I don't remember. I also remember Mangle hanging themselves. It was one of the like. There were some weird aspects of FNAF World, but I think it was pretty good. Like bosses, like talking about Chippers and Sons. Scott's like one of his first games, like actual fighting a Scott Cawthon. It was mainly just a more for fun FNAF game, and I think it works. I don't know why Scott hates it so much. I'm always betting on a FNAF World 2, especially with Scott teasing something's coming this year. It's a sequel, not 3, a sequel. I don't know. FNAF World 2, I think it's coming. Other than that, I don't really have much to say about FNAF World. Old Man Consequences. That was another thing that has continued between games is Old Man Consequences. Let the demons to his demons. Some, like lines like that. But yeah. And like I said, Baby. We got tease of Baby with Sister Location. And was it? I'm going to go back a little bit. I remember one of the teasers was canceled due to gas leaks. And it was how some stuff got leaked for one of the games. I think it was either Sister Location or 3 that had the whole gas leaks like teaser. I don't remember. But Sister Location. Everyone saw the trailer of like, oh my gosh, we are moving in a FNAF game. Normally it's been us stationary in one room, but we got to move. We see movement. And these futuristic looking animatronics with the faceplates moving and Sister Location is probably my most favorite FNAF game. Because Scott took a risk with letting us have multiple rooms. Like, the nights are all different. And I think he pulled off great. Stealthing through Ballora's room or Funtime Foxy's room. Like, it's so stressful and different. Because you slowly walk forward and just dodging Ballora's, like, with the sounds that would appear. And shocking Funtime Foxy. It was so cool. And then Funtime Freddy, I don't really remember his whole night that much of, like, repairing him. Just seeing, like, the lights spark on and stuff when you're fixing them. Oh, it is so good. Exit Benedict and the whole exotic butters. And the introduction of another one of my favorites, Ennard. I love Ennard's design. It's just an amalgamation of like all the animatronics together. Just wires that are alive because of fucking Remnant. And I'll come back to Remnant. But I love Baby and Ennard. Like, I know at the time, me seeing Sister Location and like these characters, I grew so attached to them because I've made stories. I have comics that I've made before where Ennard and Baby are all over that. Like, just again, a topic for another day. But I, I, I just love their design so much that I just couldn't get enough. And the scooping room. Oh. Just like being led astray by Baby, and the fact, like, thinking about Ennard going inside of your of I think it was Michael. I think we've broken down that Michael is the one that got scooped, and seeing the familiar cutscene of this guy walking down the street and slowly becoming this dead corpse that was walking and spitting out Ennard. It's just, I love Sister Location, and Scott did a great job with that one. Like, and even the one where you're in a Springlock suit and Baby's telling you to be quiet, and all the mini Belloras crawling into your suit. It's just, so good. I've yet to play, like, I played Bellora's minigame in the VR version. Unfortunately, that stream messed up a lot, so it wasn't on camera. But it's just, I wonder if that minigame is in the VR too, because I haven't played much of it. Because if it is, that's gonna be so scary. Just like you're trying to desperately close the spring locks as more and more Belloras crawl into your suit. And you know what happens. We've seen what happens with the spring locks. It's, mwah, I love it. And then there was that hiatus after FNAF 5, Sister Location. And we randomly got Pizza Simulator. And I remember at that time, Scott would, like, drop these fake games. Like, he'd be like, hey guys, new FNAF game. And then it's just like a parkour 8-bit game that he would make as like a troll. So everyone thought Pizza Sim was another troll, because at the start it's just, alright, you feed pizzas to kids, but then no, it kicks into the real game of, you wake up and there's I don't remember if it was Springtrap. I think it was Baby. Scrap Baby at your desk. I don't remember. It was either Baby or Molten Freddy that you started off with at the desk of, like, this animatronic was found outside. Do you keep it or throw it back? And it's this like Pizza Sim. I think most of the fan made content, or like even the VHS tapes of, like, you are a worker, like, doing these tests and actually doing work on the animatronics. It's really cool, and I'm glad people are clung to that for as much of the FNAF fan content that's come out. Because it's scary. Like, alright, I'm going to flip my notepad up. Alright, check this box off. Oh shit, this guy's moved. I'm going to tase him. It's just good. I like it. And then the whole simulator aspect of you're building up your restaurant, of, like, adding animatronics to your place, the arcade games that you can play, and then the lore, like the big lore drops here of us seeing Henry's kid Elizabeth dying at the hands of William Afton, and the puppet crawling, just in the rain to her dead body. It's just, really good lore. The lore drops, and I at this point, I think I'm in high school, so I can like, I've been full Matt Pat pilled in like lore aspects, and like, dude, we see the first victim. Like, this was William's first victim, and like, Henry, of course, was another big thing of like William's partner. Like, the cycle of like, it wasn't just a sit at your desk. It was the simulator aspects, the mini games you play during the day. I was Helpy introduced in 6? Or was it Sister Location that he was there? I don't remember, but Helpy's been a staple. I remember the jumping into a ball pit and all that stuff. And then the actual sitting down and doing some, like, the order plates, cleaning up your the stuff you do on the computer, and these 2 giant vents next to you. And then the very weird map of luring people or the animatronics in this place so they don't come to you while you're not making enough noise, trying to get these tasks done. It's a simple premise. Like, it's not, like, nothing compared to FNAF 2 where you gotta check 12 animatronics, wind a music box. It's just like, it's also not survived till 6 a.m. Another staple that's been in the game. What was I talking about? I know the recording, it's like a second. I've been gone for like 20 minutes. Something Sister Location, something. No, I'm on FNAF 6. Something. Man, this is a great podcast. I think I was talking about the big ass vents on your left and right, and how you gotta lure everyone away. And like, I remember watching, I think it was 8-Bit Ryan at the time, or yeah, 8-Bit Ryan. Like, how like weird that setup was. It's just like, okay, you got like this square area. Why is there so many vents in this little section of a FNAF building? And dude, the ending of FNAF 6 is one of the best things I think we've gotten out of this series. How iconic Henry's speech is. Like, Elizabeth, if you even remember that name. And the darkest pits of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting. It's just like Henry cooks, and how you burn everyone alive. Or every animatronic, the main ones. You got the Molten Freddy, which is Ennard, and all the other fun times. Burn Trap, which burned in FNAF 3. Now he's back in here. Scrap Trap? I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Scrap Trap for 6, and then Burn Trap for fucking Security Breach. And Lefty, who I like how Lefty, we don't know, is the puppet until later. I think that's, like, the pictures, first off, of, like, seeing them in the alleys are really cool. And how the puppet is still alive in Lefty. And then how he burned everything, ending it finally, letting everyone rest. And the death of Henry, presumably, I don't think Henry's alive. I think he dies with everyone else there. And I think with Michael as well. My brave volunteer, whose job this was never intended for. It's such a good speech. On top of the secret lore aspects of the juniors. I got other mini games of like you're playing the Fruit Pac-Man game and you see the reflection of a kid crying with Afton in this pursuit behind her. It's just a really good game, and I'm gonna put that under Sister Location in my list. But I think that is where I wish the story ended. That is where I was like, all right, I love this series, but I hope it ends there. It was a perfect way to wrap everything up. Every character is dead. Afton finally got his comeuppance. Henry got his revenge for killing his daughter, or for Afton killing his daughter. Michael, who we've seen through all these games, is dead after luring everyone in. And it's just really good. And then, what? We got Custom Night, Ultimate Custom Night. I don't think Ultimate Custom Night is bad. I think seeing the lore aspects of this is Afton's hell, where he will forever be stuck trying to defend from everyone he's killed, all these animatronics, is good. I think it was supposed to just be like, because 6 didn't have a custom night, I don't think, because it was not like a whole lot you could have done there. It's just a vent and luring people, luring the animatronics. But Ultimate Custom Night, every animatronic is here. This is the Smash Bros. Of the FNAF universe. And seeing people try to beat 50-20 mode, or 2050, whatever it is, with every animatronic turned on, and it is just chaotic. Like, I remember watching Daco beat it, and him crying. Like, I completely understand Daco. That is so hard. And I'm like, damn. Other than that, I don't have much to talk about Ultimate Custom Night, other than the lore drops that we're still deciphering to this day. With coming back to Chica saying, I was the first, I've seen everything. And I don't like the death voices of these lore is the lore drops. It's like every time you die to a certain animatronic, they would say a line. Also, I love how Scott got voice actors for all the animatronics here, which is pretty good. He didn't need to do that, but he did it, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, these lines that people are like, oh, all right, yeah, I've seen, I was the first. Wait a minute, so you're saying Chica was the one that was killed first? But then these games later on, we're finding out that Chica might have been the very first animatronic that was designed, which I'll get to that in a bit. But there's still lore things being discovered to this day, which is why I'm still a fan of FNAF, is the lore. The games over time, moving past Scott, is a little iffy on me. Like, it's kind of 50-50. I think it was around this time that Scott got canceled. People found who he was voting for and things that he donated to, and no one was really happy about it. So he said he was getting death threats from his family, or for getting death threats, and to keep his family safe, he's like, yeah, I'm going to retire. And I completely understand. Getting death threats over, like, political or not, he shouldn't be getting death threats about it. And when he said he was like, this is me stepping back, I think he's kind of not stepped back. I think that was when he stopped making the games, but is still around helping with the FNAF name and the lore. Because the next one after that was the VR games, or FNAF VR, which is really good. I love FNAF VR. It brings it like you are there in the game. Like VR just makes it a lot scarier. And coming back to all the FNAF, like the games beforehand, but in VR was like a really interesting move. And I think Steel Wool did a really good job. But then they fucking introduced Glitch Trap. And I don't like Glitch Trap. If it's his own separate entity of like, yeah, I'm just an evil virus. Alright, sure, fine. But if it's like what some of these theory videos I've been seeing on it is true, I don't like it. I don't like how it might be some circuit board that was used on that Afton's soul possessed or something. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. I do think, like, in the lore of, like, someone played the VR game, like a tester, and then killed himself. Like, damn, that's dark. But I don't like Glitch Trap. I don't know if there's any more lore that was in the first VR game other than, hi, I'm Glitch Trap, and teasing in the Halloween DLC, teasing for Security Breach. I don't know if there's anything else really in there other than Glitch Trap, and I don't like. That's why I also say 6 should have been the ending, for lore wise, or just the ending of FNAF games, because I don't really like the new gen of FNAF. I'm also glancing over the books that started coming out. I have not read the books, but I do know fucking Remnant. I know it was introduced in Sister Location of how it's like the soul melted with metal. That's what keeps the souls alive. But I just the Remnant is in so much of the books, and like it tries to give lore for the nightmares, and it's like a hallucination disc, which I think is what Scott was trying to say, because we see some of these discs in Sister Location. But it's also the line of like, is this canon, or is this just hints at what is canon? Because there's a lot more of that, especially later with Tales from the Pizzaplex, and like trying to decipher lore that links to the games from the books. The only thing that I do like from the books was the log book, because that does talk about the games, and it is canon. It's like these are hints to give you lore in the games. And then we got Security Breach, and I'm not the biggest fan of Security Breach. I give Steel Wool props for trying something new. It's an open game, like you walking around and doing tasks and whatnot as Gregory in a giant pizzaplex, which I think is interesting in itself. Of like Freddy's is back as this giant location, a giant mall. it's just not scary, and that's what it. Like, it's FNAF. It should have some sort of horror elements to it, and of course, the start of like the launch was very very buggy, and I think they've patched it since then and fixed it. But it's I don't know. It's not my favorite FNAF game. And like I said earlier, there's like let me Google this. There's like 8 endings. And that's what I don't like. Is like, what is the lore end? Like, I understand there's multiple ways for you to get out of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get out through the garage. I'm gonna get out through the door or the roof. I don't remember. How many endings does sister or security breach have? Yeah, 6 main endings. Okay. Which is yeah, alright. So Gregory leaves and is killed by Vanny. The fire where Freddy and Gregory burnt down. Gregory gets rid of Vanny, but Freddy is also killed. Gregory saves Vanessa. Freddy and Gregory escape in a car, and the real ending, or quote unquote true ending, is the final battle with Burn Trap. Additionally, the Ruined DLC has 3 more endings. Oh my gosh. I that's what I don't like. I don't like the separate endings, because then it leaves more of like, is this the canon ending? Is what the steps we did to get here, like, lore accurate, or is it just the true ending, where the final boss with Burn Trap, which I fucking hate Burn Trap. He should be dead, and it's just a corpse. Like, it's just a corpse and one of the recharging things. But it's like Glitch Trap, keeping him alive and keeping Vanessa alive, or Vanny. Vanny's such a wasted character. Like, I like how it's a new villain, but Vanny just isn't scary in the games. You're just dodging her most of the time. And there's no, like, you don't know anything about Vanessa. And that's what I don't like. It's like, she has this cool mask. What the fuck is it? Who are you? And, and there's still lore aspects being dropped, like with the Ruin DLC. And, okay. Honestly, the Ruin DLC it's better. It's better, it's scarier. It's more linear, so you're actually like doing things to keep going, and the jump scares will actually get you. Maybe get you a little too hard, I should say. Jeez. I still can't believe that I showed speed. Oh, that was such a fun time of watching him play the game and get jump scared by Chica, and it's. But then, the ending of Ruin, we see the mimic, and how this entire time we were following Gregory, but it wasn't Gregory. And I don't know what the hell we're doing with the mimic at this point. Because at this point, I think the true ending is we're stuck in an elevator with Freddy, or Fazbear, or with Rockstar Freddy, because the mimic shut down the elevator. I still don't even know what the mimic is. Like, I played into Secrets on the Mimic, And I think that one was pretty good, honestly. The Secrets of the Mimic is a pretty good game. Lore aspect, holy shit. I was actually like freaking out over the lore for the first time in a very long time. Reading that Afton like stole all of this stuff from Edwin is like, oh my gosh. Edwin's wife designed Chica just to have her die and him make a robot to try to replace his wife, and that being the mimic, and then his son also possibly being a mimic with the whole baby mimic ending, which I didn't get, but apparently that is one of the endings in the game. And how Edwin's mansion connects. Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember because I was freaking out when this happened. How Afton reached out to Edwin to start Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And how at the very end of the game, we see the start of Freddy Fazbear's. Or maybe even Fredbear's Diner. One of the two. And then how this entire mansion might have been what Afton took over. Like, because we see these rooms that look like FNAF 4. So, Afton might have just taken everything from Edwin, including the mimic. And that's what I want to know. I like that whatever comes next for FNAF, I'm going to watch it regardless. But the mimic in the game, we burned down the place and he steals this code and just walks away. Just to come back up in Security Breach Ruins DLC. Which is at least 30 years difference. So where the fuck has the mimic been this entire time? And maybe Burn Trap was the mimic. I've been seeing some theories that the mimic is just trying to get Afton with... Because, like, I don't know how Glitch Trap even goes into this whole thing. I'm curious what they're building up to. Because what is the mimic doing? Like, it's just been lurking in the 8th layer of Freddy Fazbear's mountain. That's the other thing. I've been seeing a bunch of jokes of, like, we have Afton's house. Underneath it is sister location, because that's underneath his house. And then there's the Pizzaplex, and underneath the Pizzaplex is Freddy Fazbear's Diner. And under Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is another cave system. And it's just like, how deep does this shit go? It's like Poppy's Playtime, which is a whole nother conversation for another day. It's just, damn. Secret of the Mimic, I'll put... where would I put that? I'm going to put that above 4. No. I'm gonna put that below 4. I enjoyed it for what it was. I had some good jump scares. I'm still just not used to the whole open world kind of like massive FNAF games like this. I kind of like I know Queso talked about this when he was saying his thoughts on the game. I kind of wish we went back to a little bit of like a smaller night style FNAF game where we're actually like being a security guard or like just something more kind of like Sister Location where it's like in a location that isn't just a giant factory or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know what Steel Wool's cooking. We do know that Five Laps at Freddy's is still coming, which will be a fun racing game to play. So it's just, yeah, where is it going in the future? I'm still kind of looking forward to. The last thing I'll talk about with FNAF is the movies. And FNAF 1 movie was pretty good. Getting to see, first off, amazing work for the animatronics for the movies. They look so good. And then we had that whole the hate thing with the glowing eyes. I don't like this effect. I don't know, who the hell cares? I think they did an okay job fitting the lore into FNAF 1 with why am I blanking on his name? Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard does a really good job as Afton. And it makes me just want to wait for FNAF 3 because we'll actually get to see more of him in Springlock suit. But it's also at the same time different because Vanessa is here. And it makes Vanessa Afton's daughter. Unless Afton has two daughters, because we also in the second movie see Baby, which means that sister location was happening during the original Five Nights at Freddys, which means that Elizabeth and Vanessa might be siblings, and I don't know. It is a mess to think about, because there might be two different stories going on here. It might be a retelling of all the games from Scott's mind, of this is the story that I've wanted to tell from the start. I just messed up at the beginning. And I don't know. We'll get to see where it goes. But it's weird to think about that Afton was working on sister locations designs while these locations were still open. And also the baby suit that we see in FNAF 2 movie. I guess it's the whole thing with the second movie. I didn't like the second movie as much as the first. Again, the animatronics look great, but we barely get to see the Wizards. The Wizards are only around for a minute. We see Baby's suit for 15 seconds, if that much. And it's just oh my god. the marionette possessing people in the second movie. Oh, that effect was awful. I don't know what Scott was thinking with marionette there. But it I don't know, it was not it. It was not achieve. And the fact that it's just building up for the third movie, so I want to say this is just FNAF 1.5. So I'm looking forward to seeing the horror attraction, Matthew Lillard as Springtrap. I'm looking forward for that, but I don't know. So pretty much to wrap things up here, Five Nights at Freddy's has been such a huge part of my growing up, my childhood, and growing up now. Getting to be scared from these games at the start to now be playing these, still getting scared, jump scared, but understanding more of what's going on and all that stuff. I've grown. It's been a decade of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've grown up with it, and just I wouldn't change that for the world, honestly. It's what got me into horror, that and Kill Count, but again, a different story, a different time. It got me into horror, branching out into finding horror games and stuff like that, and just the the endless hours of me watching theories and finding YouTubers who I still watch today, who played these games, break down game, or just had fun in the game. I didn't even talk about fan games or the fan songs, which is another huge thing that I grew up with, which will most likely be another episode as well. If you do want a great video about FNAF songs and that aspects, I recommend Chazington, another YouTuber. He made an amazing breakdown of fan songs and stuff like that. Highly recommend. But I'll probably save that stuff for another episode because there's a lot I could talk about there. It's just the fandom and all that stuff keeps the FNAF alive. Like hell, even the memes with there's always seems to be a FNAF meme picking up, like as I'm recording this. The whole Nightmare Freddy bit of like of him being like the nice one of like, I can't believe you would say something so disrespectful. This guy was just trying to live his life, and just like FNAF is still very much alive, and I'm excited to see the future of what it has in store. And yeah, that's a very messy and roughy rundown of FNAF from me, and how it's just kind of impacted me over the years. That's pretty much it. This has been Chyte Chats, and thank you for watching.